something happened yesterday in baseball that you think should apply to Alex Bregman.
Yeah, Matt Chapman got a 6-year deal, $151 million.
Third baseman for the Giants.
Yes. He was one of the Scott Boras clients this offseason who struggled to find a good deal.
Why you called Scott Boras? Why?
Yes, he's part of this group where he signed a 3-year deal, but 2 of the years had opt-outs. So the Giants decided they were going to get rid of those opt-outs, and they were going to sign him right now for a 6-year deal. I saw this deal, and my immediate reaction was I would give Alex Bregman that deal right now. Matt Chapman is only 11 months older, and you can nitpick certain stats of who's better at what. But if you look at the main things, like this year and throughout their career, their WARs are almost exactly the same. Their OBPs and everything like that are almost exactly the same, because you'll see Matt Chapman walks a lot more than Alex Bregman does. So while Alex Bregman's batting average is significantly better, Matt Chapman makes it up from walks. I don't think they're that different of players besides Alex Bregman's defense. Bregman's defense is much better. So he probably will want more than this, but he's a Scott Boras client. So how do you go into a negotiation now if you're the Houston Astros and not just say, hey, we'll give you that exact same deal that you just got your other client with the Giants? I mean, it's a 11-month difference. There's no age issue here coming up, but I would give him that deal right now. $25 million a year for 6 years. That's under what his technical salary is this year right now. So if you could get him for that, I'm all in. Keep him.
I'd love for this to happen as well. But I think if you're Alex Bregman, I think you're saying I'm better than him. Now, to your point, there are some comparable numbers. I think we've had this conversation before where I look at the two of them, and it really is the batting average thing where I'm like, Bregman is a better hitter, and it does at least seem like Bregman also draws walks on a level that very few players do. But I mean, I'd love the Astros to offer this. I just don't know that Alex Bregman would accept this, even if Scott Boras has set the market for third baseman at this deal.
Yeah, that is would he accept it? Because
the deal makes sense. I think the offer makes sense. You'd have to offer north of it though, because he's won 2 World Series, and because I think he's a bigger deal across baseball.
All it takes
how much more?
Yeah, all it takes is one team, right? To say, we know that this is what Matt Chapman got for 6 years, 151. But would you do 6 years, whatever ends up being $30 million a year? I mean, $30 million a year for Alex Bregman, another $25 million or $30 million on top of that. So 6 years, 180. That might be the cap of his market at this point. The way baseball is going, we're seeing one massive contract go out in the offseason. That's going to be Juan Soto. He's going to get $500 million or whatever it's going to be over 10 years. And then everyone else that's in the market is going to be trying to figure out what they're going to do. The guys who are the biggest free agents last year, Matt Chapman's now off the market, but you're going to have Jordan Montgomery, Blake Snell go back into the market. Cody Bellinger's going to go back into the market, joined now by guys like Alex Bregman. So the way baseball, the owners are spending money, I just don't know if we're going to see that big contract. I think the market correction in baseball is happening in front of our eyes. That we're seeing teams realize that you can't just give out these massive contracts like the Angels have done for years and let it ruin you, or the Tigers. There's a market correction happening, and there's maybe one guy every year that's the exception. So I think they can keep Alex Bregman based on this deal.
A couple others on the Twitch agreeing with you. For the most part, I agree. I just wonder if there's a team out there that looks at Alex Bregman and says, he's got those intangibles, and they're willing to overspend because of that. Because
they matter.
2 World Series, 7 straight ALCS appearances, does seem like it's trending towards an 8th straight one. And on top of that, I mean, how often do you hear the broadcast glazing Bregman's baseball IQ?
Mm-hmm. It wouldn't shock me if he got a massive deal that's bigger than this. Because the slow start is one thing, but I think it was Alex called in the other day and asked us that question about would you rather the RBIs be spread out or all at once? Well, when Alex Bregman's RBIs are coming all at once and he's on point, he's one of the best players in baseball. When
he's on a tear, he's really good.
Yeah.
And we've seen it multiple times here. That's where I look at the difference between he and Matt Chapman. Chapman had, what was it? Was it was it 2019, 2018, 2020? There was one year I remember I was like, oh, Matt Chapman.
Yeah.
But it felt like it's more the anomaly in his career as far as like, oh, this guy's maybe a challenger to Alex Bregman as one of the best third basemen in the American League.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to how desperate a team gets to fill a third base hole that they have. And I can see really a lot of things happening with Bregman. I can see him signing a 5 for 150 with the Astros, come back. I mean, we were talking about it with Dell. The Astros gave Altuve a 5-year contract. I don't know if they're going to go over 5 years for not Altuve. Or someone younger. I mean, maybe if Tucker comes up, that someone whose age starts with the number 3, I don't know if they're going to go more than 5 years on him. And I think that he should be trying to get 30 million on average a year, because you look at the best third baseman in baseball. You got Devers, who's making 31. You got Machado, who's making 32. Arenado making 32 and a half. And then Anthony Rendon making 35 and a half. I don't think he gets there.
That's the problem. A couple of those contracts, I bet their teams regret them.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely with Rendon. And one of those other guys that you mentioned, Sean, who are they really quickly?
Arenado, Machado, Devers.
Machado, Arenado, I don't know. I feel like San Diego probably expected more out of Machado, right? He's still in San Diego. Right?
Yeah, no, I think they're probably fine with it.
Yeah, they're good with it, but they would have expected.
It's not a bargain, but they're fine with it. And yeah, Devers is probably gonna have to move to first at some point.
Yeah, he's a hefty guy.
They probably don't love that, but I mean, and then
he's the best player.
The fifth best deal, or the fifth highest deal, is Chapman, the one he just signed. So there is kind of a gap between number 5 and that top 4. They're all making over 30. I think Bregman is going to be closer, probably into the 30s.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. I like to take Joe. It's spicy.